Chapter we will talk about arrays. Let's start talking about what is arrays. So array is the variable that can store multiple value of the same type. So the normal variable store one value, but the array store a lot of values. So values are stored in adjacent memory location. It stores in location in the memory that are beside each other. For example, we can declare it with these symbols, these brackets, square brackets. So int test 5, this will declare array of 5 elements. So when we define it like this, it will create 5 spaces, like 5 variables, but all of them have the same name, tests. And they are all of the same type, integer. This is the first element, second element, third element, fourth element, fifth element. So when we define int test5, int is the data type of the array elements. Test is the name of the array. And 5 is the size of declarator. So it shows how many elements you have in the array. But sometimes we say the size of the array is the number of elements multiplied by how much space we have for every element. So imagine this is integer. We have 4 bytes here with 5 elements. Every element is 4 bytes, so in total we have 20 bytes. So the size of the array actually is 20 bytes for this example, because it's integer and every integer is 4 bytes. We have 5 integers, so in total we have 20 bytes. Okay, so if we have long double measures 10, this is array. The name of the array is measures. We have 10 elements, they are long double. So long double is 10 bytes per element, and we have 10 elements. So in total we have the size is 80 bytes. So usually when we create array, it's good practice to make a constant called size with the size of the array, and then we create array of 5 elements. Instead of writing 5 here, we make it a constant first and then we use the size. Why we do that? Because maybe later if you change your mind and you want to make the array 10, you just change this. Okay, but usually when you declare the size, you will use the size of the array later in some loops and something. So instead of changing all these numbers in the loops, and you just change the size here, and it will be changed everywhere you use the size of the array. So accessing the array elements. So if you access the array elements, you use subscript. You start from 0. So the first element in the array has subscript 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if we have 5 elements, the index starts from 0 till 4. So the last element has subscript n minus 1 if we have n elements in the array. So if we have 10 elements, we start from 0 till n minus 1, which is 9. We can access the elements of the array like normal variable. So when we say test 0, we are accessing the first element of the array, and the first element is like a variable. We can give it a value, we can print that value, we can input that value, and we can even make it part of equation or expression. Okay, but we are not allowed to print the all of the array. We can only print individual element in the array, but we cannot print all the array. So let's take one example. Here we define some constant called number of employees 6, and then we create an array of type integer. The name of the array is hours, and it has 6 elements, so the indices will be from 0 till 5, and then we print enter hours worked by the employees. So we make input for hours 0, 1 till 5, and after that we print these values. So here we input the 6 values, and here we print them. So this is the array. It has 6 elements. Every element takes the input from the user, and we can print them. We can access the element using like writing which index we want, like we write the literal or we can access using a variable. For example, int I equal to 5, test I, so we want the fifth element of the array. We can use a loop to go through all the array. So let's define the size of the array to be 5. We define array, the name of the array is numbers, it's of type integer, and it has 5 elements. So we can use array to assign values for the elements of the array. So int count equal to 0, count less than array size, count plus plus. So this is the typical for that we use with the arrays. So it starts from index 0 till index array size minus 1, because it's less than every time we add 1. So numbers of count equal 99. So we will assign every element in the array the value 99. So this is the typical loop for the array, as we mentioned. So if we define a global array, it will be like a global variable. All the elements will be initialized to 0. But if we define the array inside a function like a local array, so there will be no initialization for this array. So we need to initialize to give it initial value. In C++, there is no bound checking. What the meaning of bound checking? Let's see example. So here we have array of size 3. We define array of size 3, so it has index from 0 till 2. And then by mistake we make a loop from 0 till 4, and we assign values for the array to 100. In other languages like Java, this will be a compile error or runtime error. It will give you error, but in C++ it will not give you error. So it will just assign here 100, 100, 100. So this is the array in the memory. And after that, it goes to the space outside the array and assign it 100. So this is not good, because this may cause errors or change some important values in the memory. So we should not do that in C++. So we have to make sure that we give the correct indices. So be careful not to use invalid subscript. Doing so can corrupt the other memory location, crash the program, or lock up the computer and cause elusive bugs. So one thing also we have to take care is called off by 1 error. Because the array index start from 0, sometimes we make error. For example, we might make the loop, this is array of size 100, we might make the loop start from 1 till size. This loops will be 100 times, it's okay. But the problem, we start from 1. We should not start from 1, we should start from 0 and less than size. Okay? So this is the problem of off by 1 error. How to initialize the array? Array can be initialized by initialization list. So we can make a loop and give values to the array, or we can, when we define the array like this, we can give 5 values in a list like this. So this will be the first element, second element, third element, and so on. Okay? So, but here you cannot add more elements. Yani, if you have 5, you should make in the initialization list 5 elements only. So this is example. We have month, 12 months. We create an array of size 12, and we write the number of days for each month, 31, 28, 31, and so on. And then we make a loop, and then we print month. We don't have month 0, so we'll start from month 1. That's why we add 1 to count, because count starts from 0. We write month count plus 1 has, and then we access the array days of counts. So first one, it will print 31, then 28, and so on. Okay, so this is to show you how we can initialize array using a list. You can also initialize array of 7 elements, and you only initialize like 4 elements. So this will give 4 elements, and the rest will be zeros. If you didn't mention in the list the complete number of elements, the rest of the elements will be initialized to 0. So here also, if we did not mention how long is the array, how many elements we have in the array, and we have initialization list, it will create an array of 4 elements. Okay, but if you want to define array, either you write the number here, how many elements you have, or you just have initialization list, and then the compiler will know how many elements you have in the array. How to process the content of the array? So first, don't make mistakes when using plus plus and minus minus. So test of I plus plus, this will add I to the value of tests I. But if you write test I plus plus, this will just increment I and will not change the value in the array. If you want to copy array to another, don't do this. Like imagine you have two arrays. The first one is called tests, second one is called new tests. Don't do this. This will not work. So how to copy the elements of these to the element of these? You need to make a loop from 0 till less than array of size, and you copy every element here to every element here to every element here. So new test of 0 equal test of 0 and so on. How to print array? So you can, if you have array of character, this is the only array where you can print directly. But if you have array of integers or doubles or anything else, you cannot print just by cout the name of the array. You need to make a loop and print every element in the array, like this loops that usually we deal with the array. So if you want to make sum of the values in the array, you just define the average and sum equals 0, and then tnum, this is the index from 0 till less than size, and every time you sum over the values of the array, and at the end you write average equals sum divided by size. If you want to find the highest in the array, you assume the highest is the first number, and then you go from the second element in the array till less than size. So this is, we didn't start from 0 because it doesn't make sense, because here we assume the highest is the first element. So we start from the second element till less than size, and we compare. If this is the highest, then it's deserved to be the highest. Okay, so this is how to find the highest value in the array. Lowest value in the array, same way, just you have to compare. If it's smaller than lowest, we keep track of the lowest and so on. So partially filled array, it's known how much data an array will be holding. So make the array large enough to hold the large expected number of elements. Use a counter variable to keep track of the number of elements stored in the array. So we will talk about this in details in the next video, inshallah. So that's all for this video, and see you in the next video.